actually do want to try that game.
I do too.
Hello, internet world.
Hello.
Welcome to Press Play. We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Michael.
I'm Leroy.
This fool over here is doing echoes and stuff, because why not?
I'm trying to get our thing up because, unfortunately... I got the chat up.
There you go.
So
I believed in you the entire time.
Sure you did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get, because our internet is acting up again, as usual.
It is what it is, man. it's the building, man, you know?
Do you know what's sad?
Some quirks. Huh?
I tried to do a video call in the parking lot today. It wouldn't work. I had to call.
Oh.
Because it's the internet. It was like, it wouldn't, so I had to get off the Wi-Fi.
We got cold spots in the building. It is what
No, I was outside.
Oh. I mean, we got cold spots outside the building. Actually, I won't tell that story.
What?
It don't matter. They don't need to know. It's just just a story of jank stuff not working sometimes. They don't need to know that. I don't need to put nobody on blast. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, I know you would.
I tell them.
Anyway, welcome. What are we talking about?
First of all, we're talking about. We're talking about Batman. Talking about DC Comics, and we're talking about
Talking about PlayStation.
Talking about PlayStation.
We're talking about little baby Evan.
Evan who?
This is sweet. This shirt.
Oh no, what you talking about?
That's real nice, man. The people that matter to that's very sweet of you to wear that shirt.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Earlier today, I saw that. I was like, okay, that's a dad for sure. And then when a friend of the show, Anna Grace, saw it, she lost her mind. Yeah, but that's nice.
The funniest thing about Anna Grace is I know she wants to lose her mind on stuff, and she knows how I am, so she tapers it. So when she came over, she was like, I just want you to know that shirt is everything.
Yeah.
And I could tell she wanted to scream.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't let it happen. And she was just like,
Yeah.
So if you guys see the shirt, my wife, who doesn't have enough stuff to do at work, and this was a problem when she was pregnant, because for like a whole month while she was pregnant, she would buy stuff. So every day I'd have to wait till the last possible second because a new package would show up. Because she would be at work ordering stuff. She would see it, ask me about it, and get my opinion. But my opinion didn't really matter because she'd already bought it. And
Nice.
So she saw this shirt, and so she made the shirt. So the baby, his head is actually tilted in the picture. And I don't know how, I don't know what site. Maybe she'll drop it in the comments. She's probably in the chat somewhere. She made this shirt, and it brought her so much joy when it came. I figured I'd wear it out.
Yeah.
So,
okay. There we go. That's very sweet. But we got business to talk about while you wear that shirt.
Woo!
Yeah.
Let's talk about PlayStation.
Where you want to start? Because
I told y'all.
You talked about.
I told y'all.
Where are you going?
Physical over digital.
So we were talking about changes to the PlayStation Store, but and at first I was like, I don't know if that topic's big enough, but we can expound upon that because there's a bunch of stuff happening with PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because of PS5. So
You
we
start.
PlayStation Store.
You give us the whole.
I'll give you what I know.
Give us the bullet points.
I'll give you what I know in terms of PlayStation Store. I actually got an email personally, and they were telling me the PlayStation Network is changing.
Yes.
And that the PS3 games and PS Vita and P, you are no longer able to buy that stuff through like the regular store in the app. Now, if you are still using your PlayStation 3, you can use the PlayStation Store through that and get PlayStation 3 games. But any other way, you can no longer buy PlayStation 3 games through that store. So hopefully you got all the games that you wanted.
Sony, friend of the show, screw you.
There we go. Thank you, Sony. Okay. How does that make you feel, sir? I personally am okay with it.
I'm not.
There's nothing on PS3 that I don't already have.
This is the problem that I have with that, though. This is my biggest problem with all of this, and we talked about it before. And maybe I didn't make myself clear. I kind of combined a couple of things where they might not have needed to be combined. This is why I said you still need a GameStop, because you still need a place where you can buy physical media.
Sure.
And oh man, I forgot to bring my bag downstairs we were talking about buying movies. So this past weekend, Best Buy was doing a sale on 4K steelbooks, where they were like anywhere from $7.99 to $12 to $15. I bought 3, one for my brother for his birthday, which was steelbook digital. I mean, so it came with a Blu-ray, 4K copy, and a digital copy. $8. The Town was $12.99, and Ocean's 8 was $9.99. I still buy physical media because, as I have found out within the last month, and my wife has found out, our internet sometimes goes in and out.
Oh, there is nothing like. So I told you that Jessica Chastain movie Ava. I ended up buying that this weekend, and it's a great idea to buy a movie that we bought it digitally streaming.
Yeah.
The issue is the internet kind of crapped out.
Yep, and so it's on Vudu.
Yeah.
You have to have a strong signal for Vudu to work.
Yeah,
especially if you're on 4K or if you're in a high.
Yeah,
I know that problem.
Maybe like 20, 30 minutes into the movie, it kind of stopped. It's
Yep.
like, this kind of sucks and ruins the flow of the movie a little bit. So yeah, there's definitely a benefit to having that the physical over digital. For sure.
Yep. So I saw this news because Sony alerted us if you had PlayStation that there was going to be a networking update and there was going to be some stuff. And I looked online and I was at work. And people were upset about whatever this update did or changed. Now, I don't stream games. I don't take pictures.
Yeah.
I'm old, and I'm antisocial, so I don't play with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But they were mad. Like the internet was upset.
When did you see this?
I saw it last night while we were at work.
So the new 8.0, I think, iOS, or not iOS, but the system update for PlayStation.
IMAX says when Leroy moves, all the babies away. They're trying to say something.
That's wild. So one of the things that the update does is changes the way voice chat works. Because you know how if you're on an online game and somebody does something offensive, you can report that person and send them to a moderator for a game, for online, whatever. Before, in the old days, or in the current days, all you can do is write. Now there's going to be a voice chat feature where you can actually say something, talk about whatever it is the person did, put that clip in there as well as 20 seconds of the conversation that was caught before and after, and send that to a moderator. But that's only going to be on PlayStation 5. The issue is people are wondering, because as this came out, people realized, oh, that means
they're listening all the time.
They're always listening all the time. And people are very upset about it. And then Sony came out today, I think, and said the standard boilerplate of it's listening, but you have to be the one to send it to Sony or whatever. So it's not like they can really monitor whatever. But people are rightfully upset that they're always listening.
I understand that, but that's what happens when you guys put these devices in your homes. Because we have a Katie got one of those digital, the Google, what's not Alexa. Wait, is Google Alexa?
Google is Alexa, I think. I don't know which smart. Hey, people that are smart in the chat, which one is Google or which one is Alexa?
Either way, she got one of the little ones, and that thing is still sitting in that box.
Yeah.
I ain't opened that thing yet.
Yeah.
I just now got to using, because I'm paranoid as hell, to where you hit the little microphone on your phone and you speak and it searches for stuff. Like
this dude. Oh man.
I'm telling y'all, it's not. I'm gonna give you a little behind the scenes. It ain't healthy.
Alexa is Amazon. Google is home. Thank you, Google Hub. Thank you.
Yes, that's what it
is. Smart people.
Yes, thank you. Kim from Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm paranoid as hell.
Yeah.
I don't even like to sit with my back to a door. And so where I sit in the station,
wait a minute.
In this,
are you always freaking out about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Son,
good to know.
Oh, it kills me upstairs. But anyway.
Yeah.
This is the thing that happens when you put these devices in there. So I get that. My problem is, and has always been, when these updates happen and you rely on a digital store, if you don't have a physical copy of this thing, you don't own it.
Yeah.
And even then, if you have a physical copy of it, I am really upset about this because we talked about this last week a little bit, that I'm part hoarder. I can admit that. But also, I want to be able to own the thing I paid money for.
Sure.
And if it stays in the cloud or it stays on a certain... stuff gets erased. Like I can understand this can get erased. You can scratch up and you could lose it. But if I have this versus it's just on this, that's a problem. And you're cutting out a huge part of your audience who still plays retro video games.
There's a parallel to this is, you remember the PT demo? Mm-hmm. The big, it was going to be the Silent Hills demo. Hideo Kojima and Norman Reedus. Mm-hmm. I think people are selling the demo on PlayStation 4s that still have the system for like hundreds of dollars because you can't download the demo anymore because it was taken offline.
Really?
Yeah, people will buy just the system with that demo because that's the only way you can get it now. And I don't think, a lot of times if you buy something and they delist it, you're still able to re-download it. I don't know if you can do that for the Silent Hills demo, for the PC demo.
I did not know that.
But games like that.
Well, remember Fortnite?
Yeah.
Remember Fortnite? People who had it on their phones.
Yeah.
After the whole Apple the fiasco.
Yeah. What is the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the beat 'em up game? Mm-hmm. That went offline for a few years. I think it's coming back now in a remastered
I think it's
version.
back now.
Yeah, because I saw a trailer. And then Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, that was on Xbox Arcade. That went down. And I don't think you can download that anymore. People are kind of upset about that. But
and I guess that's where I go back to that whole physical versus digital. And I understand Sony is trying to push everybody dragging, kicking, screaming into the future, but this is the problem that I have with all these people. Kim from Chicago, Leroy, you're thinking about streaming versus downloading. Streaming is in the cloud like YouTube, downloading is like Steam. You can copy downloads. I understand that, and I get what you're saying. I guess what I'm saying is not being able to have that option of buying that particular game in their digital store, to me, is a disservice to gamers who want to be able to have a lesser footprint, who want to be able to who buy a hard drive like you do. And I think not being able, and I hope that there's something that pushes people to maybe they're going to revamp PlayStation Now, where all of this goes on there. That would be amazing.
Well, I always, whenever decisions like this are made, I'm always curious about being a fly on the wall in that boardroom. Clearly, they have accountants that say, we can drop the PS3 and PSP and PS Vita. The money that we would have had, we're not. It's so minuscule. We can go ahead and drop that, and we're not. You know what I'm saying?
We're not hurt.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that means that they can revamp stuff and make stuff faster for PS4 and PS5 on the PS Store in terms of how stuff works.
I'm hoping, and that's when I saw that, I really was like, man, this is not good, because I have a Vita. Mm-hmm. I still play it. The game that I play is the one me and you talked about, the Columns game. I still play that.
Luminous?
Yeah.
I never know.
I love that game.
It's a fun game.
And honestly, I play that more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I love that game. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know why, but those memory cards are still expensive as hell. And I don't know what Sony was thinking when they made these things and not being able to have, multiple.
Brian Gamer says, Sony is charging for Spider-Man again after 2 years. There is no, she says save, but I guess it's supposed to be way. No way all PS3 stuff is going to be free for anywhere for free. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
And
maybe they will put it as part of the PS Now thing, and maybe
that's right behind what Brian Gamer said. Ray Sean K says the same way on Game Pass for Xbox. Games never stay on there.
Yeah,
so maybe that is a smart thing, and hopefully that's what they're doing. That they pull certain games off, rotate them, and you have this constant stream of games.
Yeah.
If they're doing that, okay, I can see that. But like Resogun,
Resogun.
Huh?
Resogun.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Resogun.
If you say so. If that.
Yeah.
Like, it's certain PS Vita games that are hard to find. Like if you don't go to a
wait, are you talking about Resogun?
Yeah, the ship game.
Okay, yeah, Resogun. All right. With like the voxel graphics.
It's a shooter.
I mean, yeah, but you also pick people up and save them and stuff. Because we might be talking about two different games. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Whatever.
Either way, you shoot people. You shoot spaceships. Yeah. A lot of those times, it's hard to find physical copies of those games. So, like, being able to just go into the store and download it for, like, a Vita or PSP, or that's... I would miss that because I still use my Vita. Mm-hmm. A matter of fact, I bought the Vita for that very thing. So when I go on the road or taking a family trip and just something I can just pop in real quick.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Stadia was supposed to be, but that didn't work out.
Hey man, don't.
No, because
you're not wrong, but there's still a chance.
But you saw Cyberpunk is going on Stadia?
We knew that.
We did.
Yeah.
Nah, we did know. You might have known. We did not know.
They said that. I guess I paid attention because I have a Stadia, but yeah, they wait, are you saying that it's coming launch day now? Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Maybe that's the big news because they talked about coming there, wasn't going to be launch day.
That's one of those things that it kind of bothers me with that. So that's why I said I'm not a real big fan of this.
A lot of people are like talking about some of the systems they still own for games. Zayla Marie says I still have my PSP just for The Force Unleashed.
Yep.
Yeah. And in terms of rotating games, Brian Gamer points out the first party games stay on Game Pass. So they do drop out some of the other stuff. There's one game dropping at the end of October called After Party, and I want to play it because it's by the same people who did. What's the other game they did? I can't think of what it is. It's a fun game, but I need to play the game before it leaves Game Pass. Staying with PS5 stuff. Did you see the interface?
Yes.
Do you care?
Kinda, sorta.
It's like, I guess it's cool. I don't know. It seems like it's fast, which is great. But I feel like, and you guys let us know, everybody, guys, girls, let us know. I felt like when PS4 came out, the interface was pretty fast, and then over the years, it slowed down now. So it seems fast now, but a couple years down the road.
But you know what? Again, and you're right, the interface doesn't mean anything to me because I don't know what that's like on my system. Like, right. I don't know. Like, it's great for you to show me in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
That's like those cars on a closed course. Yeah, that's great until the transmission falls out of the first year. Ken from Chicago brings up a very good point. Leroy should worry less about physical copies versus download and worry more about subscriptions versus buying. If you stop subscribing, doesn't matter. If you have the disc, the program stops. And this is why I always buy. Mm-hmm. And so, like, perfect example, The Watchmen for HBO. Mm-hmm. If you have HBO Max, you can watch it as long as you want to.
Yeah.
I buy the disc. Because if it's good enough, I will buy it. Because let's say I need to cut back and I need to get rid of all these subscription services. And he's right. And I remember Xbox for their program would let you keep the game if you download it. And Sony was like, nah, bro, you got to keep PlayStation Plus to keep this game.
Yeah.
So he's
right. Two things before, I don't want to cut you off. Brian Gamers, anyone see the reports that the PlayStation runs hotter than the Xbox? But I don't see reports about it everywhere. I wonder if that's because people haven't gotten their hands on PlayStation like they did Xbox. I wonder when like the content creators and the influencers finally get their hands on PlayStation 5, maybe they'll be able to report that. Brian Gamer. And then Balanced Book Out. Have I been watching Supernatural? Yes, I have. I really love the Mrs. Butters episode. And I can't keep up. Does it come out on Thursdays or Fridays now? Because I haven't seen the most recent episode. But I am happy that they're finally finishing up season 15 of Supernatural. Go ahead.
No, that was it. It's one of those things where I was excuse me.
Thursday. Okay. Oh, so then I should watch it tonight. Cool.
It's just one of those things where he's right. Subscription services, especially like, and when you download something, they can easily just turn it off or you don't have access to it.
I downloaded, I think it was called Below. But I think it was made by Capybara Games.
That's no longer there anymore.
I know that. I downloaded it thinking I could play it. And I never got around to it, but they took it off Game Pass and this don't work here. And I was like, oh.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, they had let me know in advance that it was going away. I just didn't take advantage of it. But yeah, it sucks to download something, not be able to play it for sure.
And that's the thing that I hate. And that's why I said I still buy physical. My wife does not care about stuff like that. She's like, everybody has like a person, like in a relationship. One person's a clean person, one person's a clutter person, one person's the saver, one person's the and the spender. I fit that description. I like Lauren. Remember when we were talking about physical and Lauren? I mentioned DVDs and Lauren like, who's still buying DVDs? And I was like, I am.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things that are not on Blu-ray. One of the best movies of all time for me is a movie. You guys should go check it out. It's from Kathryn Bigelow. It's her first movie before she, and it's when she was still married to James Cameron. Now you know
before the Hurt Locker and stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Called Strange Days. Mm-hmm. Ain't on Blu-ray. You got to get it on DVD. It basically, you want to talk about a movie that speaks to this time right now? Strange Days. When I tell you, so Ralph Fiennes is in it, Angela Bassett, Tom Sizemore, who's the crazy girl from Natural Born Killers? Is it Juliette Lewis?
Maybe. That sounds
She's
right.
in it. William Fitcher, and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Sounds like a good cast.
Awesome cast. Straight. Everybody's like, I remember that. That's only on DVD. It's when you think about the movie and what it is, it's only on DVD. I cannot find. It's not on Blu-ray. Of course, and you lose a generation of movies when you have that generation jump through whatever physical media. So you lost some movies when we went from VHS and beta to DVD.
Yeah.
You lost a generation of movies when you went from, and that's what the Film Preservation Society and Library of Congress does. That's what I kind of want somebody to do for video games, so that we still have these things, even though, like you said below, if you don't have a physical copy of it, who's going to tell you about it? And I think that's something I feel like. Yeah, she did have cornrows. It was
bad. People are talking about Luna, the thing that Amazon is doing now, because it's going to be their version of Cloud.
Yes. They pulled their game off.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, that's not a good sign.
Well, they said it was they made Anthem look good.
Yeah. Oh, that's rough.
The beta made Anthem look good.
As you guys know, I'm all about, not that I'm all about Google Stadia, but I'm usually one of the first people to adopt early technology. I will look at Luna. I don't have any plans on buying it yet because I still got Google Stadia. I'm still paying for it. I do enjoy being a part of another subscription service where I do get free games. Yeah. Granted, they're not new games, but there are games I get to add to my collection so I can play them wherever. Actually, I might try and play it when I go on my trip next weekend.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, great.
But yeah, that's where I come in, where I say I'm gonna buy a physical copy of it if I really love it. I know. So like right now, we're having this reshuffling of what streaming service is it on, and a show that doesn't matter. I don't care what service it's on. Here we go. Doesn't matter what service it's on, I still got it. Don't matter what service it's on, I still got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
And I will upgrade to maybe 4K,
Like
4K eventually.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping those because that's what's one of my favorite shows.
As long as your player works, you're good.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about it. And so I was upset when I saw that news, because as much as I know that they're trying to usher in the future, I really did not like that, because it just really played into my fear and my paranoia of, if you don't own a physical copy of it, you don't own it.
Right.
And so that's when I saw that. Now, I saw Xbox or Microsoft release their UI as well, and people were looking at and comparing the two. I'm all for it.
Kid from Chicago, and this is a point that Stadia should be doing more. Google Stadia should be advertising left and right and center about saving $300 to $500 for the new consoles are taking hours to download day one patches versus press play and play within 5 minutes flat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they should be doing that more. I think the issue that Stadia has, as somebody who owns Stadia, is they don't necessarily get games day one. Yeah. But if they're getting Cyberpunk day one, that's a big deal to be like.
I think they are. I just saw it, they were like, it was a big deal. Yeah. Cyberpunk was coming to Stadia, so I did not realize it was already coming to Stadia.
Yeah.
So it might be that it's coming day one. I could be incorrect.
That's a pretty big deal to be like, I don't need to play it on a new system or whatever. I just got to spend the $60 on a game and I can play it. That's pretty big.
And honestly, you're right, it should be advertised more. I don't know why it's not, but hey, that's just me. Right now, everybody's talking about all the stuff they own.
Fair enough. Y'all let us know in the chat what you own. Let us show your fandom. It's fine.
And that's another thing too that I feel like a corporation like Sony is missing out on, and I feel like a lot of corporations are missing out, because as nerds we like to show off what we own. That's why you buy special edition stuff. We buy it because there's nothing like you being that person and somebody comes over your house and you're like, my stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the best parts of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Maybe some of my stuff. Yeah. And Sony kind of gets that, and I guess Xbox to a certain extent, but maybe more Sony with the whole idea of trophies is kind of just showing off. These are all the trophies that I collect in all these games, and you see they just updated the levels now. Because I was like, when did I get to be 200 something? But I guess
they changed it.
The new cap is 1,000 or something.
That's what another thing in the update that came too.
So I mean, they kind of get the idea of being able to show off your stuff, whether it's digital through the trophy collection, but yeah, having these physical versions is definitely another way to show off.
IMAX, that's what I'm talking about. I finally got that back from Michael after 3 years.
What did I get?
Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
I gave it back?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, you ain't never get nothing again.
Man.
Nothing I love like that.
Hey, Katie, if you're watching, you know what to do.
She know better.
Katie, you know what to do if you're watching.
I get his baby away.
I'm sorry.
You better not touch that standalone complex.
This get too real. I don't want to be a part of whatever this is and drop to some lawsuit.
We can make another one. You better not touch that. That was my childhood.
I can't.
So yeah, I that really got, like, when I saw that, I just started looking around in the room and I was like, man, let me tell y'all how physical media.
Oh Lord. Now we just.
I have the VHS copy.
I like that this was a discussion that started with Sony stuff, and now we're just showing off stuff that we own. You done?
Come on, man. Who else has a VHS copy of Full Metal Jacket?
I bet somebody in this chat probably
I'm quite sure they do.
It has a full.
I still got the original copy of Blade on VHS. I know you still got VHS stuff.
I do have some VHS stuff, yeah.
What you got, man?
Nothing here.
I know that.
No, I don't know VHS wise. I think actually Blade was the first DVD that my family got. Because I think when my dad got a DVD player, I think Blade was the first movie we were like, ooh, this looks fancy.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's and I really like, and I admit I love going to thrift stores and pawn shops and flea markets and finding that nugget or that jewel.
Yeah.
And that's one of the cool things of like just introducing people and being like, hey, and it's also a thing where, and I like doing it only because it's been done for me. When I was younger, there's always like guys and girls older than you who like looked out, and when they found out you were a part of this, they'd be like, "Here, young blood, you got it."
Yeah,
and just like you're like, "I can have this," and it's like, what? And because they could get another one, or they just knew how much it meant to you.
Yeah.
And I love that idea of, and I've done it with my brother. My brother came over a couple of weeks ago because I have a whole bunch of omnibus because he's getting into comics now. And this is my segue for the next topic. But he was like, I was like, here, read them, take them, take however long you want. Some of them I'm just like, hey, you can keep it. Because, and it feels so good to do that. I have a cousin I did that with for a lot of stuff. And he's like big, like he's bigger into manga and anime than I am. Because I had this stuff and I was just like, here.
Yeah.
And we do that as nerds. We lend each other stuff. And I guess that's why I feel so, and maybe I am old when it comes to that. I'm so resistant to that whole digital because you don't get to do that. I miss that. So, the original Voltron on DVD. That's what I'm talking about. Super 7.
Just get to the next topic.
I love
We're
this.
Gonna be looking at.
I love this. I love these guys,
a
man.
freaking nerd version of Antique Roadshow or something. All right.
So the biggest news for me this week was DC's future state. And I'm trying. Let me pull up the article because I want to make
and
sure.
you can tell me why I should care. Because this is what I got from it. I read the article and I'll give my little summary of it. DC for like the months of January and February, I think they're gonna go into the DC universe in the future sometime.
Yes.
And tell stories in the future.
Yes.
But they're eventually gonna go back.
Yes.
Then why go to the future?
Because it's a how do I explain this? Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
That's what this is.
Oh.
So
you know what? Wow.
See, see, think about it like this. You watch Flash and
Good
you're like,
job,
okay,
Leroy.
cool.
All right.
Flash is cool, but
Sure.
Legends of Tomorrow, you can do anything.
And they do. And I love it for that.
And that's what Future State is.
Okay.
So Future State is, we're going to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's what this is.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know, right now DC is doing Dark Knight's Metal. And I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but basically all the realities are being destroyed. The Justice League is behind the 8 ball trying to fix reality. They're up against Perpetua and the the Joker who laughs, who stole, spoiler alert, who died and put his brain in the body of a Bruce Wayne who turned into Dr. Manhattan, and he's now the Blackest Knight. They have teamed up to take over the universe. So
comics are awesome and so crazy at the same time.
So
yeah.
I say all of that.
Yeah.
The heroes win. They right the ship. But in the aftermath of that, they forward decades into the future. And here's the aftermath of the heroes winning and what happens with their descendants. So they age up the DC universe, and it's kind of like where are we now? So Gotham is Bruce Wayne is supposedly dead. There's a villain called the Magistrate who's taking over Gotham. Costume heroes are outlawed. He's using surveillance equipment. Clark Kent has left Earth, some international incident. John Kent, his son, is aged up as Superman. There's a new Wonder Woman. So it's like, what happened? How did we get here? And you have all these different things. Bruce Wayne is dead. There's 2 new Batmen. There's one that people believe is a black Batman, who a lot of people are alluding to could be Lucius Fox's son. Then there's another Batman who looks like Bruce Wayne from the way he looks and everything, but he's more like a street level guy. The new Wonder Woman is actually born from the Amazon, who's Brazilian. Her name is Yal, and she looks beautiful. She's drawn by Joelle Jones, who drew Catwoman and Lady Killer. Joelle Jones can draw some women. That woman, the first few issues of Catwoman, go look at them. And she did some Batman issues too. Dan Mora is doing Superman. You'll like this. Dan Mora cut his teeth on Your People, which you should get into. Power Rangers.
Okay.
The art for Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The art alone for Power Rangers made me read Power Rangers.
Okay.
The reason why I love everything about this is because when it came to comics, one of the best storylines of all time for me as a kid was Age of Apocalypse. And this is before the internet. This is before you knew what was going to happen. So basically what happened in Age of Apocalypse and the lead up was Legion, Xavier's son, has always been schizophrenic, multiple personalities. He's one of the most powerful mutants ever, but he could never consolidate his mind to be a helpful person. He got in his head that his dad, Charles Xavier, would have had more time to help him like he did all these other mutants if he did not have his nemesis, Magneto. Legion, who honestly is probably one of the most powerful mutants ever, Omega level mutant, goes back in time to assassinate Magneto, misses, and kills Xavier, which wipes out the entire timeline of the Marvel Universe, because without Xavier to stop the Shadow King, Apocalypse, Magneto, all of these different entities, the world collapses into chaos, and it ushers in the Age of Apocalypse. So you didn't know. You knew there was a series called Legion Quest. Then, after Legion Quest, all the different X books, there was stuff going on. And when the shot happens, when Legion kills Xavier, because you killed your dad, you just exited yourself out of the universe.
Right.
All the timelines, all these books stopped. So there's like all these major events in these books, in the X-Men books, that you're just like, what Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, what just happened? And these new books show up. So instead of X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, you had, what was the name of the book? Each book was called something else. Astonishing X-Men instead of Uncanny. Instead of X Factor, you had Factor X. And all the characters you knew and grew up to love were bastardized mirror versions of just horror. So Apocalypse took over the world. He won. Jean Grey is married to Wolverine. I don't say married, they're a couple. Wolverine got into a fight with Cyclops, who is now a literal Cyclops because he stabbed Cyclops in the eye. He has one eye. Wolverine has one hand and a little metal thing because Cyclops blew off his hand. Oh yeah, it gets better. Magneto winds up with Rogue because Magneto can touch Rogue. Gambit got his heart broken, left the X-Men. He now is running around the universe with a woman called Lila Cheney because she can time jump and time hop. So Gambit is just heartbroken.
Hey, what point are you getting to? Because this all sounds great. We were talking about DC.
Hold on, I'm getting there. So
okay.
What I'm saying is, everybody remembers this. This is DC's version.
Okay.
So all these crazy things you see, and you're trying to figure out what happened to get us to this point. So now DC's like, here's our quest. Here's our Dark Knight's medal. The world is screwed up. How did we get here? Okay. Who is this new Aquaman? Who's the new Flash? How did the Green? Where is everybody? So now Superman is on War World, and he's wearing the old school Superman, but it doesn't have the S on it. It looks like he's wearing his suit from Kingdom Come.
Okay.
So then you see chains wrapped around him. You're wondering where, what?
Love the kid from Chicago. Mike is getting overloaded. It is a lot to take in, sir. As somebody who reads comics on the periphery, it's a lot to take in. But that's what I said. But it does sound incredible.
Age of Apocalypse was one of the Age of Apocalypse is one of the greatest time multiverse universes. And what happened was at the end of it, they fixed it. But they didn't fix all of it. So some of the people who, when the universe righted itself, escaped and came to our universe. That's something that could happen here in this DC. So you jump all these books. And there's also, so one of the cool things in the DC thing that people have been looking, if you go, and I tried to pull it up so you could see it. Dan Mora draws this great splash page with everybody on it. And you see Batman on one side, and you see the new Wonder Woman. On one of the books, Wonder Woman is wearing a Batman utility belt. And another page you see, Batman has what looks like one of the Themyscira batarangs. Okay. And you're like, are they a couple? Could they be together? And you're just like, is it happening? Because remember, we watched Justice League Unlimited.
Right, and
it was like, so remember when Warhawk showed up?
Yeah.
And you were like, does Shira and Jon Stewart get together again? And you're like, and then it just disappeared. We never got to see that. This is that.
What does that mean for, like, because I thought Batman was with Catwoman. Oh, so you're like, where does it go? Okay.
See, you just answered your own question.
Okay.
Because now you want to know. So
then, clearly, this is a big deal for you. The people who do read comics, let us know, are you guys excited about these changes coming up to DC? Because I can see this is a big deal for you.
I just spent all the baby money right now. They about to bring the hashtag back.
Katie, you might want to start selling this shirt.
Nobody knows where Martian Manhunter is, man. So these books.
Look at Ryan Porter.
So yeah, Kim from Chicago. DC's done it before. They did the 1,000 year in the future thing, which was okay, but it didn't really have like a lot of effect here. This is kind of like.
So why is this version going to be different from them going in the future before?
Because
in your opinion,
in this one, I think this is a future, one of the possible futures, but it's closer to our timeline than anything else.
Okay.
And there's a possibility that we could see some of these characters in continuity, like in canon.
Got it.
So one of the cool things about Age of Apocalypse was, so Apocalypse had a son, what was his name? what was his name? And he came back once they righted the universe. There was a version of the Beast who was terrible. He was called the Dark Beast. He escaped. And the characters were so popular that they even got their own title called Exiles, where Sabretooth was a good guy. Well, a goodish guy. And it was just like, there's a possibility for that in the DC universe. So we finally, basically, for a person of color, seeing a person of color being a possible Batman is exciting. And it's not just a token of, oh, you this one. It's written by John Ridley, who has written screenplays, books. You're getting major talent. Becky Cloonan. You're getting, like I said, Dan Moore. You're getting, Terry from Chicago, DC Comics, Kingdom Come. Thank you. That is one of the best storylines ever. Painted by Alex Ross, written by Mark Waid. A future where the 90s action, kill everybody, take over the world. And then you have Superman having his come to Jesus moment, and we need to have morals. And you had all these future nightmare versions. Batman was crazy. It's kind of like that, but it was considered an Elseworlds tale. It was like a what if. This is actually supposed to be canon, and that's what's so amazing about this.
Do you think this is going to somehow tie in to the movie franchise?
No, not well. I say that no, in the sense of, because they're just picking and choosing. But what you could see is the same thing you see going on with Spider-Verse and Sony. They're already going to introduce the multiverse with Flashpoint. So you could get versions of these characters in all over the place. We're already going to get Jacinta with a different Batwoman in the Batwoman show. We've seen different versions. We know we're going to get a different Bruce Wayne in Vulture guy.
Vulture?
The guy who played him.
Michael Keaton.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Michael Keaton. So if this is popular, and everybody's been asking for a Batman Beyond something. Yeah. I'm not saying that this could lead into it, but this could, like, if this is popular enough, and money talks, bullshit. I'm sorry. I could say the other word. Walks. I'm sorry. I said.
Yeah. You must just say.
Why did I?
Yeah.
So you could see some of these characters, and it's just the idea of, and this is the one thing I think that is so exciting for me is, and somebody said it. To Ryan Porter, I see you. Somebody said, "Can you imagine what Katie goes through?"
Yeah.
The one thing I think, the thing that somebody said it, but I'm trying to paraphrase it. This is what comics is about. The idea of, it's comics, man. Like anything. Yeah. And sometimes some stuff isn't for you. And I admit there's certain comics that are like, this is good, but it's not for me. There's going to be a book for everybody. But whatever there's going to be a different Flash. There's going to be...
sorry, go ahead.
No, but I'm saying, like, for people like Aquaman's daughter, the one that you saw, the baby, she's grown. She's piling around with Aqualad, who's no longer a lad. That's a man. So
what series are going to be, like, so what are the new books that you're going to see now?
So you're going to see, and this is what they did with kind of Days of Future Past, not Days of, Age of Apocalypse. So you've got, let's start from the beginning. So you have oversized anthologies, Future State, The Next Batman, number 1 through 4, featuring The Next Batman by John Ridley, Nick Darrington, and Laura Braga. Outsiders, Arkham Knights, Batgirls, Gotham City Sirens. So that's one group of books. Then you have Future State Dark Detective. That's by Mariko Tamika. Then Dan Moore. Grifters by Matthew Rosenberg and Carmine Germanico. And Red Hood by Joshua Williamson. So each little family is going to be broken down into different books. Okay. So then you have Superman, the Superman of Metropolis. Then you have Superman Worlds at War, which is Kal-El.
So that's Kal-El, and the other one is his son.
And then you have Immortal Wonder Woman, Justice League. Then you have the Green Lanterns, Suicide Squad. Because like, what does the Suicide Squad look like? What is the dynamic between Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman? Because they're not the same people.
Yeah.
They don't have the same that relationship that Batman and Superman had, where they were the yin and the yang bouncing off each other. What is that relationship like? And then you have monthly miniseries and one shots.
So is Amanda Waller still alive?
Yes.
Because when you said Suicide Squad, it's like
so now and it goes to like, is she a good guy or is she a bad guy? Or is she still that in between?
Yeah.
And so it really goes to show you, you're like, what is going on? And it's comics. You know, it's like, for those people who want something new, it's something new. For those people who are like, I want my comics the way I want them, shut up and wait a month. It'll go back to the way it used to be. But it offers somebody something different, but it's also a finite, contained storyline.
Ray Sean K has a question for you.
Go ahead. What's the question?
Leroy, how do you think the Three Jokers is going to end?
Have no idea. Hadn't read any of them yet. I got them. Hadn't opened it. I'm waiting for it all to be out, and then I'm going to read it.
Okay.
So I haven't read it because I'm waiting for all three. So that's what I do with those kind of miniseries. So I can read it all at once.
Because the Watchmen universe is now part of the DC thing, right? That's the thing. Whatever happened with that? Weren't they looking at the Doomsday Clock or something?
Yep. All of that played into Dark Knight's Metal.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
All right.
So that's why I said all of this is connected. I know a couple of people. I'm trying to remember if it was Ray Sean K was asking about. Ken from Chicago. I will wait for the trade for some of this stuff. Some of this stuff I just got to buy the issues. Like I just have. I'm going to support. I want a huge omnibus for all of this. And they'll probably release it like a giant, $125. If you buy it early, you can probably get it for $60 or $70. But this is why we read comics, for this far outlandish stuff. Boundless Book Out, kind of. So this is basically what 5G was supposed to be. This whole idea of aging.
I think somebody brought that up.
Yes,
yeah.
The whole idea of aging up the heroes, but they could never get it right. Rebirth was supposed to be that restart, and it fell flat. So the whole idea behind what you were talking about is the Rebirth brought the heroes back to a restarted the universe. Dr. Manhattan cut out 10 years of these people's lives, and then the Doomsday Clock was them trying to figure out who did it, and then convince him to fix it. Okay. Then that spills over into Dark Knight's Metal, and it's all of this is connected. So that's why I said this is why we read comics, to escape the madness of the real world and go into a fantastical world where the good guys win, the good guys get beat, and then they come back, and that wonderful fight between good and evil, and a great storyline. D. Steezel, you're right. Convergence was also a crisis, but it really kind of fell flat. That really did not do well for DC, and it almost sunk them for a little bit. Rebirth was a little better. I mean, the New 52 was a little better. Rebirth is what really got people hooked back on DC. People really liked where Rebirth went, and
what was the promotion where they were had a cheap comic? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
A couple issues were cheap, and we're like, oh, these are good comics that were cheap.
I
mean, this ain't show and tell.
No, because
I wanted you to get it for that.
Because I'm trying to remember what it was called. Oh yeah, Kingdom Come. I want that back. I'm trying to remember. Oh wow, I got a Bitterroot #1 in here.
You got stuff you don't even know you have.
I mean, I remember I had it. So you had the New Comics #1, and then you had stuff like this, DC Nation. This was kind of to get people on board. Then a lot of them do this too. They bring out these free comic book days, and that's what really kind of helps. Then you had Year of the Villain, 25
Ken from Chicago, is that a slam at me?
What?
He said, Leroy, keep your eye on Kingdom Come.
Oh yeah.
Is that a slam at me?
Oh yeah.
From Chicago? That's not necessary.
I'm gonna be honest with you. One of my homeboys to this day, we still fight about that. I let him borrow Kingdom Come, and he was like, you're never getting this shit back, right? Like seriously, never got it back. So yeah, it's oh man, I'm trying to think. But yeah, that's kind of where all this, and that's why I said that's why we read this stuff.
Yeah.
And because it's great story. This I still go back and watch my Justice League cartoons.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're great cartoons. But yeah, comics does this every now and then. They'll restart the universe. It gets too convoluted. They got to break it back down. And it just depends on where some people jump off. I've jumped off before. And I stopped reading and then something will bring me back. Speaking of Convergence.
Kid from Chicago, don't worry about how long it took to return Ghost in the Shell.
Yep.
The point is he got it back.
Not because he wanted to give it back.
You got it back?
And sometimes...
Is it working order? It still works?
Sometimes the reboot doesn't work. This was one of them.
I did have it a long time, came from Chicago. I don't know how long you had it.
Sometimes the reboot doesn't work and it's not what the people want. This version of the
I was kind of excited for that. Just
I was
different,
too.
But...
I was too, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
I liked it, but it didn't work and it spun out.
Rachel KS is so Static Shock in these new DC comics.
Yes, supposedly Static Shock. So supposedly, now this is the cool thing, and I don't know if I mentioned it. Wildstorm and Icon from Milestone, and all those comics are supposedly coming into the DC universe. So, which means Static Shock, which means Grifter, the Wildcats. So hopefully some of those we'll see coming up shortly, because there is a book called Grifters in this new Future State Comics. Okay. So
well, if somebody called you Santa Claus, you don't have to pull anything else out of your bag. We good. We got it. Here's your Kingdom Come. You can have it back.
I mean, it's only issue. What is this, 4?
I don't know.
I think this is 4. I don't know.
There we go.
It's kind of beat up copy, but still.
Wrap this up, because we got work to do.
You got work to do. I'm gonna eat some pizza.
I stopped you from eating your pizza? I thought you finished it.
I finished 2 slices.
There we go.
Oh, this is why I love... See, and this is why you want to read some of this stuff. You want to know why? Because remember, everybody had... Remember in Justice League, when they had the fight between Superman and... Mm-hmm. So Lex Luthor in Kingdom Come has a mind-controlled Billy Batson. No one realizes he's been feeding them like basically speed and coke through worms. Uh-huh. And he's taken over, and Billy Batson is fighting Superman.
That's a great looking shot.
It's Alex Ross, man. So yeah, so you never know what you're gonna get from some of these books.
Tell these people what got you through the week.
The kid, in comics.
Okay.
Because I've been reading comics, and me and him been playing Warframe, The Better Destiny.
Okay. I won't argue with you on that.
I did not know. Thank you guys for telling me about Warframe.
Yeah. For me, I've been playing Avengers.
Aww.
You keep saying that like the game is horrible.
I know.
It is buggy, but it is in a better state than when Destiny first launched. I think, just based on what people were saying.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay, have you played it?
Destiny? Yeah, 1 and 2.
Not Destiny. I'm talking about Avengers.
Oh, you didn't ask that.
I hate you. Yeah, I'm playing Avengers. They did a slight update for some new missions, but they also announced that Kate Bishop has now been delayed. She was supposed to come out at the end of October.
So y'all ain't got no Hawkeyes.
No Hawkeyes. Still no Hawkeyes.
No eyes.
Yeah, no
Reggie.
eyes. Oh, no.
You got a Reggie game.
Also, the next gen version of the Avengers game got delayed till 2021.
Ken from Chicago says you should do a review of the Avengers game.
Maybe. We gotta, as great as it is to work in a news station and have equipment, we still don't have all the equipment we need to because we need to be video capturing
if
stuff.
Y'all ever, that was what this whole area over here was supposed to be.
Well, stuff. COVID happens and stuff.
Sir, I stole a TV for us.
Rich watches it sometimes.
He knew I stole it. You know when I stole it? Because they know I stole it. You know why? Because I stole it on Jim Gandy's Going Away thing. Because remember you came down here and you were like, how did this get down here? Yeah. They were like, yeah, it's downstairs. I was like, yeah, it's downstairs.
They do have it back now, so it is what it is. But
yeah, I swiped that thing quick. Hey, don't ask me to pick up stuff on the lawn if you want to keep it. Because I put it in the nerd room quick.
Anyway, I think is that all stuff we got? Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah, the shirt is front and back.
Baby is everywhere.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right.
All right, guys. We really appreciate it, guys and girls. Appreciate the love. Hope you guys are being safe. Remember, wash your hands. Keep your distance, social distance. Also, I know it's important. We talk a good game, laugh and joke, but go out and vote, man. It's really important, and this election is important. We don't want to know who you're going to vote for. We try to stay apolitical on here, but is that the word?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we try, but it's really important. So get out there and vote. Wear your mask, wash your hands, stay safe, and find your joy. It's been hard for me dealing with some of this stuff. I know it's been hard for Michael, but we really enjoy doing this. And one day we'll all get all through this, and we'll get to go to the movies and see Dune in the movie theater in 2026. All right, we out. Peace. You will turn it off, or?
Just probably wait till
What? Wait, what are you waiting on?
now.
This is what we waiting on.
At the end of there.
Oh.